G'day and welcome to the channel, Ginja Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginja Ninja and these are my Trashy Tuesday movie reviews. Now, if you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. You're probably wondering what Trashy Tuesdays is and why am I so excited about it? Well, let me start out by saying trashy does not mean bad. Trashy Tuesdays is about looking at films that have a certain quality about them that sets them apart from other films. These are films that generally aren't high quality, low budget, maybe. They've definitely got a certain je ne sais quoi about them. And this one is no exception. We are looking at Species 3. So I'm going through all 4 Species films as part of Trashy Tuesday. And like I said, that doesn't mean they're bad. I've got a lot of love for Species 1 and 2. Really enjoy them. I thought they were really good films, but let's see how the rest of it goes. And they definitely are a bit trashy. Anyway, this film was directed by Brad Turner and stars Robindunne, Robertknepper, Amelia Cook, sunnymabrey, and a very brief cameo from Natashahenstridge. The plot, and I'm going to read this out word for word, so if it doesn't make any sense, I got it from IMDb, all right? The plot. As her species decays, succumbing to infections and illnesses, an alienseductress, immunologically stronger, becomes the only hope for them to live on. Yeah. I didn't write that. That's IMDb. Anyway, this is the TV movie version of Species, the sci-fi edition. So yeah, it is cheaply made compared to its predecessors. But does that make it terrible? No, it doesn't. But it doesn't set a good precedent for a good film either. And like any sequel, they tend to run out of steam. They lose that momentum. And, not that the series had a lot of it to begin with, but you lose the lead actor, you lose the stars, and you replace them with new faces or people that you're sure you've seen them somewhere else, but you can't quite think where. Well, welcome to the world of low-budget, made-for-TV sci-fi. But is it all bad? I mean, it's a super hot alien wanting to bang and take over the Earth, right? So it's got to have some positives. Well, let's find out. All right, jumping straight into the cast, we've got Natashahenstridge, who returns, albeit briefly, as Eve in the opening scene. And this provides a bit of continuity from the earlier films, but to be honest, she's barely in it. And the only reason I'm mentioning her is to provide that continuity from the previous film. The new hybrid is portrayed by sunnymabrey, who delivers a decent performance as Sarah, balancing innocence with menace. She shoulders a creature legacy role in a physical commitment that's really, when the script gives her something resembling motivation, she sells it. But she just nails that predatory sexual duality that the franchise needs. And this is something that Natashahenstridge did really well, particularly in Species, the original, like the first Species. It was bang on perfect. And sunnymabrey delivers a very similar conviction to it, like the dual role of the alien human. Like, she wants to be human, but she's got this drive in her, and she does that really well. Robertknepper plays Dr. Bruce Abbott, the scientist who is raising her. Now, Robertknepper he's been in a lot of things, and he's genuinely a good actor with a knack for quietly unsettling character choices. He elevates his small amount of screen time through just sheer presence. Robindunne is just there. Honestly, his character overall made no sense to me as to his reasoning for being there at all. The scene where Dr. Abbott and Dean, Robindunne's character, first meet and clash seemed so forced, and that was both on both parts. Like, I just didn't get it. Now, a lot of that will come down to the writing too. These are competent actors, and they're operating within a script that asks for them to oscillate between erotic thriller, science fiction, and a monster chase movie with very little tonal consistency or support. The bottom line is the cast, they do what they can, but the film rarely gives the performers the depth or space to make the roles memorable beyond any plot mechanics. Moving on to the directing and the writing. This is a made-for-TV film, a sci-fi film nonetheless, so you kind of know what to expect going into it. Directed by Brad Turner, he approaches Species 3 as a straight-to-TV thriller. Scenes are tightly constructed, pacing leans towards plot progression rather than character exploration, and his direction tends to keep things moving, which is very useful given the script's tendency to pile on new complications, which just seem to drag things out rather forcefully. And by that, I mean adding in new characters, such as Amelia Cook's character. She comes into it halfway through the film as the, I guess, final boss, as it were. And it just drags it out. It's felt rather pointless to me. There are flashes within the film where Turner leans into body horror imagery and suspenseful staging, but these do suggest that he understands the tone of the film. However, the overall feel is clinical rather than cinematic, which actually may help viewers that are looking for a brisk monster movie, but it will disappoint fans expecting the sleeker, more eroticized atmosphere of the original and even its sequel. Now, the script does encounter challenges in its execution. Character motivations are frequently indicated rather than explored, with individuals thrown into the mix, primarily serving to advance the narrative forward, but like I said, at the cost of stretching out the overly thin plot and any reasoning behind them being there. Additionally, the film relies on the sex and violence sequences that had a lot of impact in 1995 rather than what it does in 2004. The dialogue, oh my God, the dialogue, it just felt clunky. It was exposition heavy and very blunt. The stakes were very unclear. Like, if you look back at the original two, Syl escapes. In the first one, Syl escapes, and if she breeds, it's going to start the end of the world. Basically, it's going to populate everything out of control. Now, that was the same in the second one with the character, what's his name? Justin Lazard's character, the captain in that one, if his children. And this is supposed to go on the same thing, but it really doesn't hit that nail on the head too often, and it just failed on that part for me. Now on to the effects, and we are clearly in sci-fi TV territory here. So this is the area where Species 3 most clearly betrays its pedigree. The film intermixes practical creature effects, rubber suits, makeup, and practical prosthetics with early 2000s CGI. That can come off as rather cheap and unconvincing. I mean, it definitely holds up better than pure CGI, and the close-up practical work, it does hold up better. The physical design and makeup teams still deliver grotesque and occasionally effective kill scenes and transformations. But wider shots and action set pieces are hampered by flat CGI compositions and limited effects budgets. The result is a visual experience that oscillates between serviceable and obviously cheap, especially when you compare it to the previous entries. And Species 2, like some of the CGI in that was terrible. Rewatchability. While the film has a solid cast who do their best, the overall feel from this one is not something that I feel drawn back to watch all that often. In fact, this is the second time I've watched this one since it was released. So will I watch it again? Probably not for another 21 years. Final verdict. Species 3 is not a return to form. It's a franchise detour that offers a few decent creature moments, but never quite finds the right balance between gore, suspense, and character to really make it feel like a rewatchable entry. Yeah, if you're a franchise completionist, or if you're just fans of low budget creature features that like a little bit of nudity thrown in there, sure, it's definitely worth it. But for anyone expecting the original's blend of erotic alien horror and glossy production values, probably not for you. If you want a late night genre fix and can forgive a few rough edges, Species 3 will definitely deliver a couple of worthwhile shocks. But if you came for sex and sleaze sci-fi glamour galore, you're out of luck. That was in the first two films. You're going to be disappointed with this one. Overall for a score, Species 3 gets a 4 out of 10. There you have it. That is my review of Species 3. Have you seen this one? Or if you're like me, you haven't seen it in 21 years, so you feel the need to revisit it, let me know what you thought down in the comments below, because I'm keen to hear what you thought of this one. Am I looking at it too harshly? I know it's a sci-fi film, so I know it does have that unmistakable sci-fi quality to it. But still, I really wanted more. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button. It'd be much appreciated. And of course, if you've listened to me ramble on this far, subscribe to the channel. It'd be much appreciated. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.